Hey. Hey. Hi. What are we doing?
I'm gonna see Beauty and the Beast! And I'm really excited. Like, super duper excited.
I don't know why it's so zoomed in on your face, but you're like really zoomed in.
My face?
Yeah.
My beautiful face?
You can see all your lines and things.
I don't have lines. That's false. It's a fiction.
I can see all your pores.
I don't have those. I'm not familiar.
I don't have those.
What is this word? Pore. How do you even spell it?
I don't know. Let me read in Braille here.
How dare you?
It's no, but look, it's like really super zoomed in for some reason. It's not. I don't even, like. Look, you can see all the bad things on my face that you shouldn't be able to see. This fine line right here that I've agitated.
I don't know if I'd say it's a fine line.
These lines are bad. These lines are really bad. I need a foundation that covers these.
I need a foundation that covers but does not accentuate fine lines and wrinkles. What do you have for me?
Going to Sephora with that accent.
Yellow.
Yellow.
This is
It
what
is
I'm
me,
looking for.
Yvonnedeculo.
Yvonnedeculo.
I am here because I am in the need of some thick foundation which does not accentuate my fine lines.
Hello, it is me, Yvonnedeculo. I just killed Selena's.
No.
And I need a new foundation to fix this because I'm very upset. She was my best friend.
She was my best friend. I'm gonna go first because I feel like I will probably have more opinions than you. Because I feel like you're gonna be like, I like it. So, okay, so like all these live action movies that they've been making with Disney, like I was really excited with Maleficent because she's my favorite villain, but then I feel like I was kind of let down by the movie. So I think I went in to Cinderella with that same kind of mindset, like don't put the bar too high because it'll probably be a little disappointing. And I think with Cinderella, I ended up leaving the theater thinking like, okay, why was this even made? Because it was basically the exact same movie, just live action.
Yes.
And it was cute, but it didn't leave me feeling like I learned anything new. Like it felt like the exact same story. So I think my mindset with Beauty and the Beast was kind of like, okay, why? But watching it and experiencing the whole thing, I feel like it was better than the original. And I feel like that's almost sacrilege to say that a remake was better than the original, but honestly this to me was better than the original Beauty and the Beast by Disney because Belle is one of my least favorite princesses, and like the whole story, like I've just never really connected to it. It didn't really like move me in any way. It's cute, but she's got one of my least favorite stories. And this movie made me way more emotional. And like I was Mariah Carey feeling emotions, but like not the horrible 2016 performance, like the original version of emotions. The true emotions. I was feeling them, and near the very end I was getting a little teary-eyed. It was weepy. I felt like sobbing. I heard you bawling. I
was holding it in because we were in such a if we hadn't been in such a packed theater, I would have cried a lot more than I did.
False. You bawled your eyes out, and you were like hysterically sobbing during Moana. And you were like,
that's true.
Doing that, and that was a packed theater.
It was busy, but I didn't have somebody on like both sides of us. Here, I literally was sitting next to like some 80-year-old man, and I just was like, I can't do it. But I wanted to just sob.
Yeah, the lighting is awful. It's the sun. Yeah. But yeah, I felt like it was better. I felt like they explained a lot more. I like all the storytelling they did, and like the way that they built up the characters, and just everything about it. The singing I felt like was better. I don't know, everything
You're
about.
Gonna get crucified for saying that.
I will, but I mean, it was better. It sounded. You could argue that because it was like 90s, you know, they didn't have all the technology they have now. I felt like they didn't have auto-tune. I will say that Emma Watson was not better than Paige O'Hara, but
then everything else you're fine to say.
I think all the other actors sounded better.
And I think you have to give it to Angela Lansbury.
Who did she play again?
Mrs. Potts.
Mrs. Potts. She was fucking amazing. Oh no, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm trying to stop using the F word.
Mrs. Potts. Angela Lansbury was the original Mrs. Potts.
Okay.
And then Emma Thompson was the new one, who was stunning, and my heart.
I thought you meant she was in this one. But Mrs. Potts in this one was amazing.
She was.
I loved I love Mrs. Potts in the original, but honestly, I'm not going to apologize for anything that I'm saying now. I thought it was leaps and bounds better. I liked literally all the storytelling they did to kind of build the world. I liked the effect that when the petals fell, the castle kind of degraded, and I liked that they took cues from the musical, because my understanding of it is that they start human and they turn more into the objects that they are as it goes on. And so I like that they kind of took that concept and blended that into the story, where not only was the castle degrading and falling apart, but the objects started feeling more like the objects they were. The feather duster mentioned that she grew extra feathers, so like I appreciated that they kind of blended in that aspect of it. And I liked the new songs. I didn't think I was gonna like them because I heard the album and I was like, meh, but in the context of the movie I was like, whoa, this is making me feel things. And I felt like it made a little more sense with the context of everything, because Jacob and I were talking about it earlier. Beauty and the Beast happens within like days, like 2 days.
The original movie, it's really not clear. Like, could have been days,
could have been months. They play really fast and loose with it. Where in this one, they made it very, very clear. It happens within about 6 to 7 days, because there's the first day where everything happens, and then 5 days past that is when it all kind of goes down. You can go straight forward. So like, I loved it, and I'm very, very happy with watching it.
I loved all the visuals. I just loved how ornate and how gothic it was. It moved me. I really loved Emma Watson as
She was adorable.
There was a couple times where I grew up watching the Harry Potter movies. I loved the Harry Potter movies, but there were several times where I was watching and I was actually like, oh yeah, she's Hermione. Like, I forgot. Like, that's how good I think she is. And here's the thing, God bless him, but I have never forgotten when watching Daniel Radcliffe, oh, that's Harry Potter. I totally forgot. He's always Harry Potter to me. He's always Danny Radcliffe, Harry Potter. But I thought she just did so well in this, and it was so different from what she's done before. And I love Dan Stevens as the Beast.
It was really good.
Beast has always been one of my very favorite characters, and I've always adored the Beast. But I love Dan Stevens' Beast. I thought he was just the right amount of sarcastic asshole.
I agree.
That it was like endearing. And
it felt more real.
Everything felt more real. All the motivation felt more real.
And I like that she knew about the curse too. She didn't know how to break it, but she knew about it. So it kind of took out a little bit of that. Belle, you're a smart girl. Why are you being so stupid?
Why you ain't putting two together?
And I liked the library scene. It felt like it was more impactful because the library she had at home was only like 5 books.
5 books, yeah.
So going into a big library like that, like it made more sense that she would be more excited about it.
I also liked that it was truly Beast's idea to give it to her. Because in the original, he only gives it to her because Lumiere tells him, oh, she likes books, give her the library. He doesn't say it on screen, but it's implied, you know, something special to her. I know! But in this one, first of all, it's because he's being an asshole and wants to prove a point that, hi, Romeo and Juliet is not the best Shakespeare story ever written. Let me show you, to be or not to be, all the good ones that are out there. And then he's just so taken aback that she likes it so much that he decides to give it to her. And I thought that made it so much, like, more special and more sweet. And I loved everything.
He took 3 bullets. So.
He took 3 bullets. Frickin', when Disney goes dark, they go dark these days.
I also really liked Gaston in this version.
I thought Luke Evans was fantastic. I thought he was really, really good. I didn't totally buy the whole, like, motivation to just suddenly let's kill the Beast.
Yeah. That seemed a little...
That part seemed a little...
Felt rushed.
I appreciate that they didn't make him, like... I can see that they wanted to make it that... I mean, he used to be a soldier, so he's fought for his country before, so he feels the need to defend his country. So there's some of that boiling up there, and then, you know, I also appreciate the fact that they actually reacted to the magic mirror as like, witchcraft.
Yeah.
Versus, this is just a magic mirror, and it's just a thing, that's fine. But look at this Beast. And I guess they tried to spin it more that he wasn't mad that Belle was in love with the Beast, but that...
More that it was just like, this is something that's not right.
It was black magic, and at that time, that was, you know, a Burn the Witch era France still. So I can kind of see where they were going with that. It just didn't quite hold the same for me. but I got it.
Yeah,
And
it just felt rushed.
And I appreciated that he didn't just purely treat Belle as an object.
Mm-hmm. He seemed to respect her a little more.
Yeah. What else? I appreciated what they gave Maurice.
Mm-hmm. He felt like more of a real character.
Yeah, not so
I feel like
much
in the
as
original, he didn't feel like a fully realized person.
Yeah, he was very, pardon the pun, two-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate that he had more story and that, like, he was so protective of Belle because of her mother.
And they give us more about that, which I really liked.
I don't know. I still am on the fence about the magic book.
I thought it was cool. I mean,
like the idea.
I think if there's probably a deleted scene in there that explains a little more about it, because my kind of take on it was that, like, she wanted to kind of further punish him. Like, you can go anywhere you want in the world, but there's not going to be anybody there.
It was totally in the vein of everything else, because, like, the rose, because he wouldn't take the rose as an offer. The mirror, because he has to look at himself every time he wants to look out into the world. And then the book, because that can take him anywhere, but he can't actually go there because he's a beast.
He doesn't fit in the world, so he's going to be treated strangely.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, I felt like it makes sense because I almost got the impression that he couldn't leave the grounds.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to submit a fan theory here, and I'm going to submit to the jury to consider that the wolves were all the dancing women at the beginning because they were in white and they were only on the grounds and they were white wolves, and maybe they were trapped before they got out of the perpetual winter area and became animals instead of objects.
Maybe.
That's what I'm going to submit. Because when Maurice showed up and all the wolves showed up, there were tons of them.
Yeah.
Tons and tons. And there were probably 50 dancers in that hall at the very beginning of the movie.
A lot of debutantes.
So I'm going to submit that the wolves were the women.
I could get into it. I think the biggest thing I liked more than anything was that they just explained away so many of the plot holes of the 91 animation. Like, instead of just, he was a little 11-year-old brat who didn't want to let the creepy old lady inside. No, he was spoiled and he was selfish and he was unkind because his father raised him to be that way. And he taxed the village too harshly and
had extravagant parties.
Because
with their money.
With their money, because he was selfish. That's why he deserved to be cursed, not just because he was an 11-year-old who was like, I don't want to let this scary lady in.
Because she was weird.
So they actually, like, there was a reason behind it, and I appreciated that. I appreciated that the Enchantress's spell took away everybody outside of the castle's memory of the castle, which is why nobody seems surprised. Or why everybody doesn't know about the castle and
then they suddenly remember him at the end.
Monarch. Like, I've always asked that question. Like,
I've always asked that too.
Yeah, does nobody remember their lost monarch? Like, just
come
all
on,
of a
guys.
sudden, this part of France, like, oh, we've never had a prince. What are you talking about? But we all have royalty ruling us.
Oh,
no, not us. We've never had one.
I'm having trouble with lighting right now.
Oh, we're facing the sun. And I really liked. What else? There was some other plot stuff. I liked the backstory for Belle.
I liked the backstory for Beast. I thought that was cute with his mother and the parallels and, like, being raised by their fathers and how different types of parenting can kind of turn you know?
Yeah. And I also really liked that because we literally were using the snow in the animated film as, like, a way to kind of gauge when the film takes place. But I like that in this one they were just like, snow in June. Because it clearly was like a warm summery month when we started this movie.
So we can kind of forget about the Enchanted Christmas is what you're telling me.
Well, yes. This movie very, very much
it eliminates it.
There will not be an Enchanted Christmas. But I appreciated that it explained why it's snowing at the castle. It's part of the curse. It's just trapped in, like, an eternal winter. Like the night probably that the party was, which was a cold, stormy night. And I just loved it. I cried. I don't want to say anything spoilery because I really think people need to just see this movie because I think it just totally blows your mind when you see it. I think you go in with all the expectations of what it is and what it's going to be, and then you actually see it and it surpasses everything. And I loved every second of it. I cried, and I would love to see it again, and I will buy the 4-disc extended special edition
Extravaganza
when it comes out on Blu-ray, and I loved it so much. And I still won't feel like crying because I'm emotional from it.